What's up, everybody? It's your girl D here with your November 2021 astrological analysis. I hope all is well with everybody. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. I post weekly for you, but I also, the channel is heavily laced in astrological perspective or perspectives. And so this is part of that. So every month what I do is I talk about the planetary alignments, where things are going to be moving, where planets are going to be in what houses throughout the month of November in this case. And we'll talk about a little bit about how that's going to be affecting everybody on a global scale, as well as how it's going to be or how it could possibly affect you on a personal scale. But what you definitely want to do is you definitely want to get familiar with your chart, look at where the areas of your chart are. As far as right now, we're in Scorpio season, so you definitely want to see where you have Scorpio in your chart, because there could be major changes going on, or you will see some changes going on in that area of your chart with Scorpio. Also, you want to look at the rulers of Scorpio and find out where they are, right? Because those areas where those planets are, you may see changes in your life in reference to the Scorpionic energy. Speaking of the Scorpionic energy, what is that? Well, Scorpio basically rules the soul, the psychological aspect of the soul, right? Your soul, Pluto is in charge of that, basically. So you have Pluto and Mars. They both rule Aquarius, both rule Scorpio. So your Pluto rules your soul, as far as your soul evolving from one life to the next. That's Pluto energy. So the soul, once it goes through all of the 12 houses, like it goes from Aries to Pisces, and it experiences these things. And then once it experiences it in one lifetime, one soul cycle or what have you, then it will, metamorph between the 12th house and the first house and begin again with first house energies, right? And that's basically how life is, period, as far as the cycles we go through, even through human development, psychological. When you're born, you're in the baby energy. When you become a toddler, then you're in the Taurus energy. Your preschool, first, second, third grade, you're in Cancerian energy. Gemini energy. And then, fourth, fifth, and sixth, something like that, you're in Cancerian energy. And then, fifth through high school is Leo energy. And then, you go to Virgo, and Virgo is where, you're transcending out of that age in life where you're in high school. And now you're going to decide, okay, what am I going to do with my life? Am I going to go get married and have kids? Am I going to go to the service? Am I going to go work for somebody? Am I going to go to college? What am I going to do? And so when you get that Virgo energy, you look at all that, and then you go into Libra season, which is like, okay, now what contract am I going to sign up for? Am I going to work for somebody? You're signing contracts. Am I going to get married? Or am I going to, connect with somebody and we get together and we live in an apartment together? Okay, fine. Or am I going to, get a job? Am I going to go to the service? Am I going to, whatever it is you're going to do, it's form of a contract, right? Because you're relating to other people doing it. And then you go through Scorpionic stage. Now, what Scorpionic stage is, and we're in Scorpio season, is, we just came out of Libra season, right? Where we were dealing with karmic contracts on a spiritual level. We were dealing with karmic contracts. And karmic contracts coming to an end with people that we are no longer needing to be in a contract with. And even on the 3D realm, people are in court like crazy, still in court, could be tying things up with court. A lot of people going through divorces, a lot of people signing up for new businesses, a lot of people getting married, a lot of people in contractual disputes and negotiations, but a lot of court things, a lot where people are trying to relate and make things balanced and fair for everybody on both sides. That's the Libra energy. Now, the next energy we go into is after you've dissolved these contracts or started these new contracts, you're going through the psychological change that these new contracts that you've dissolved or that you've gotten into, the way that they affect you. You're going to have to go through a psychological change of it. And you're going to have to really basically look at your emotions and feelings and try to put them in check. You know, Scorpio deals with power struggle. So it could be a power struggle with yourself, like getting rid of the old way of thinking versus now you have to adjust to a new way of thinking. Like you weren't unemployed before, you went into Libra season, you just found a job or you found a different type of job. So now psychologically, you have to come out of the mind frame, okay, I wasn't working before or I was doing this type of industry before. Now I have to adjust and do this type of industry, you know? So a lot of us have got some changes that have gone on in our lives within the last 30 to 60 days that encompass the Libra season energy of exchanging contracts on a spiritual realm as well as a physical realm. Now we're in Scorpio season, and now what we have to do is we have to adjust emotionally. I'm laughing because I don't know. But at any rate, something just came to me and went out real quick and made me laugh. Forgive me, I'm crazy. You know, Mercury's going into Scorpio on November 5th. And I am a Mercury and Scorpio native, you know, in my natal chart. So we're going to have Mars going into Scorpio on October 30th. Okay, and then we're going to have Mercury going into Scorpio on November 5th. So what does that mean? Like I said, the contracts that we dissolved or that we've gotten into, now we have to deal with it, how it affects our emotions and feelings, and how we deal with it in the after effects, right? So that's basically you going through a metamorphic change, you know, and that's the death and rebirth aspect of Scorpio. The old you is dying, the new you is being born, and that can be very painful, and it could be a power struggle within yourself internally. And then it can also be, you know, because we're dealing with other people's energy, other people's money, other people's whatever when we're dealing with Scorpio season. So a lot of that power struggle could be with other people too. All right. So, for example, people in the when we were in Libra energy, people could have been filing for divorce. These people may have children. So now we go to the eighth house because children represent, when it's in divorce, children represent other people's property. You know, you shouldn't look at people as property, but that's how you look at children when you're going through a divorce. So a lot of people don't realize the eighth house deals with that. So it's the psychological ramifications of the changes that have been made due to you dissolving contracts or starting new contracts. So this is what we're dealing with Scorpio season. Now, when Mars goes in there, what Mars is going to do is, because the sun, Scorpio deals with a lot of hidden energy, things you don't see, people's hidden emotions, hidden feelings. All right. It also deals with crime, crimes that are normally done on the low. It deals with death and rebirth in every aspect, physical death as well as emotional, spiritual, mental death and rebirth. It also deals with power struggles. Like I said, power internally, you struggling with yourself about changing your ways, or power struggles that you have with other people, because Scorpio deals with other people's energy. Other people that you've collaborated with when you signed that contract in Libra season, whether it was a spiritual contract or actual physical 3D contract, right? So with Mars and Scorpio, Scorpio is going to be shining a light on those things, and Mars is all about how you act when your back is up against the wall. So most of us are going to be going through a transition, and it's going to be, okay, how do you act? Are you going to fight this, or are you going to, fight for it or fight against it? And again, you could be fighting for yourself or against yourself, or it could be people that are being shown to you that they have hidden motives and hidden agendas, and you're going to be doing battle with these people. Mercury in Scorpio is, Mercury's the logical mind. Scorpio is about, intuition, emotions, and feelings. So what we're going to have to do when Mercury's in Scorpio is we're going to have to make sense. We're going to have to look at our emotions. We're going to understand that things are going to be affecting us emotionally. But what we have to do is we have to look at it from a logical perspective. So it's making logic out of your emotions and feelings is what we're going to be dealing with Mercury and Scorpio. So, this is going to be a very transforming energy, very difficult for some of us, okay? Some of us may be dealing with people, adversaries. We still may be dealing with the after effects of court, legal battles, or whatever type of battle, karmic battles, the after effects of people who don't want to leave you alone after you've cut them off and they still being persistent. Mars and Scorpio may put you in a position where you, with the sun and Scorpio, you may see how this person has been an enemy to you. You may see how this person doesn't have your good intention, that type of thing. Or maybe you were battling a situation or a person that would have been beneficial to you, but because you're going through internal battles of not accepting the reality of it or not wanting to accept it, you may come to terms with that. Like, there could be somebody who's trying to work with you, and you may see it as, no, I don't want this. I don't want to work with this person. But eventually what will happen is the psychological breakdown of the scorpionic energy that you're in may put you into a point where you're like, okay, let me put my emotions to the side and let me, make the best decision. And that's Mercury and Scorpio. So that's what we're going to be experiencing with Mercury and Mars and Scorpio. Now, moving on as far as the other placements, Venus is going to go into Capricorn on November 5th as well. Venus is all about, your capacity to love and your values. And it's going to be in the house of Capricorn. So your capacity to love and your values and your attitudes towards your needs in love are going to be in the house of your reputation, how people see you, your public life, whether it's what you do for a living or just people who know you outside in the world, what they know you as or who they know you as. You could be Jan from Jan, oh, that's Jan down the block. Or you could be like, oh, that's Jan, she's a dentist. Or that's Jan, she has the green Jaguar. Or that's Jan, she has the, the Dalmatians. Like whatever people know you as in the world, out in the public life, right? So with Venus there, right, you're going to be focused on the things that are important to you, because it's also about how you see yourself, your morals and your values, right? So with Venus there, you're going to be looking at your capacity to love and what's important to you in the area of how you see how people see you, how you see yourself. Also your career endeavors. People are going to be switching because you got Pluto in here as well. Pluto's all about death and rebirth. So a lot of people are going to be switching industries as far as where they worked versus where they're going to be working. All right. So that's what you're going to be seeing in the house of Capricorn. And it's like, with that energy, you're looking at, okay, are you going to be doing Capricorn energy? To me is good versus evil. That's how I look at it to a certain extent. It's all about how you go about it. So, with that Venus energy in Capricorn, it's like the things you love and the things you appreciate. With Capricorn, that's a go-getter house. That's about making your money and being successful. So we're going to be looking at how people are going to be going about getting their money, right? Then we got Neptune going direct in Pisces on November 30th, but we'll talk about that more at the end of the month because that is the last day of November. But Neptune is the planet of illusions, and Neptune has been in retrograde for a little while now, and it's going to go direct on November 30th. So with Neptune in retrograde, the illusions that people paint are disappearing. Like you're able to see people for who they truly are. And what helps you do that is because Neptune is a water house. So it helps you to tap into your intuition and your psychic abilities. So a lot of you may have been having a lot of dreams while Neptune was in retrograde. Neptune's been in retrograde for a few months now. It went into retrograde this year, but earlier in the year. So it's been in retrograde for a few months. So a lot of us have been having dreams about things that we find out about people that people would not tell us, that we wouldn't know about them. And so sometimes we're thinking our dreams are crazy, but there's some truth to it. You always want to pay attention to your dreams, especially when Neptune is in retrograde. But it's in Pisces, which is the house that it rules. So Pisces is all about, your self-undoing, karma. So a lot of people are going to be seeing the things that they've been doing have been, they've been disillusioning themselves, and other people are going to start seeing people for who they truly are. So we've been going through that as well, but we'll talk about that later on. So Jupiter and Saturn is still in Aquarius, right? Aquarius is the house of your social life. It's the house of your forward movement, planning for the future. That's why sometimes Aquarius is not only pictured as far as the icon of Aquarius. Sometimes it's a water bearer, but also it can be sometimes an old man. You ever seen an old man for the energy of Aquarius? That's because Aquarius is all about the older age in life, your older age in life, forward moving in the future. Planning for the future, planning for your later on in life. That's why like your 401k and, things that you do in reference to work and planning for your future when you retire is really falls under the umbrella of Aquarius. So we got Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, but Aquarius also has to do with your social life. It also has to do with, people getting together for one common cause, whether it's your chess club, whether it's your Masons. You know what I'm saying? Whether this is people who volunteer for not-for-profit organizations to help other people in need, things like that. So that's the house of Aquarius. Now we got Jupiter there. Jupiter is all about growth and expansion. It just went direct last month. Actually on the 17th. Actually, it just went direct this month. Forgive me. I think it was on the 17th that Jupiter went direct in Aquarius. So, when Jupiter was in retrograde, Jupiter's all about expansion and growth when it's direct. But when it's in retrograde, it's like, damn, what didn't I take a risk on that I should have? Or why did that risk that I took fail? Right? And so when it's in retrograde, you figure all that out so that when it goes direct, you can start again. So, so with Jupiter in direct in Aquarius, now we're taking risk on connecting with different groups, different organizations, looking to expand our horizons and to build our future. Maybe you'll join a group or an organization that may help set you up for, your future situation. Saturn is there in Aquarius as well, and Saturn is Aquarius is co-ruler. The main ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. But with Saturn there, Saturn is all about discipline. Saturn is the planet that makes you grow up. So for a lot of us, we went through situations where we were questioning the relationships of friends that we had. Like, have I outgrown these friendships? Saturn would have shown you, because you would have went back to try to hang out with these people, and you would have recognized the same bullshit that gets on your nerves now. Maybe it didn't get on your nerves then, but it's just real prevalent now, because that's the universe telling you that you've outgrown this person. Right? So when Saturn's in retrograde, it makes you think about, okay, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to grow away from? What have I matured from? And then when it goes direct, you move into those new patterns, those new friends, those new groups. So a lot of people are going to be looking to move forward to things that are more mature for the maturity or the growth that they've experienced while Saturn was in retrograde. Right? So it's like, now I'm not in the junior chess club. Now I'm going to be in the senior chess club. Or, now I've graduated high school. Now I'm going to college. It's, you're looking at things from the next level. You have to, evolve. And that's what Saturn deals with, moving forward, right? With Aquarius. Those are forward movement type of energies, right? So a lot of us are going to be changing the people that we hang out with, the groups that we're affiliated with. We're going to be changing the way that we look at planning our future and putting things in place so that we're able to enjoy our future endeavors, whatever they may be. Now, Pluto's in Capricorn. All right. So like I told to you about when Venus was in Capricorn, I talked to you a little bit about Pluto. We know Pluto is about death and rebirth. It's about the power struggle. It's about the metamorphic energy. So you also want to pay attention with Scorpio season where Pluto is, because Pluto rules Scorpio. So Capricorn is where you're going to be actually seeing some changes in your chart. So wherever Capricorn is, that's where you're going to look at when you're looking at what's going on with Scorpio season. So look at your Scorpio house and look at your Capricorn house for this Scorpio season. That's where you're going to be seeing a lot of the changes. Now, Uranus is still in retrograde in Taurus, and it will be that way till January 18. Uranus is the planet of rebellion, surprise, protest, anarchy. And it's in the house of Taurus, which is your what you value, your actual physical possessions, and your money-making potential, how much money you can make. So with Uranus there in reverse, Uranus is all about, okay, you trying to handle unexpected things that occurred in your money-making house. So, for example, a lot of us are trying to recover from COVID. A lot of us lost our jobs. That was something that caught us off guard. Who the hell knew that that this was going to happen? So now people are using that Saturn and Aquarius energy, and they're like, okay, let me plan for the future in the event something like this happens again, and I'm laid off. So a lot of people are thinking that way. That's how they're using the Saturn and Aquarius and the Jupiter and Aquarius energy right now, right? So other important dates that we have for this month are we have the new moon is going to be in Scorpio on November 5th, I believe it is. Hold on a second, because that was the one date that I did not pull up, and I should have. So let's see. Moon in Scorpio. Yeah, it's going to be on Friday, November 5th, okay? I am recording this on the 27th of October, which is a Wednesday. So 11/5, we have the new moon in Scorpio. So I already talked to you about what Scorpio is. So the new moons represent opportunities for new cycles. So for a lot of us, the new cycle of the metamorphic stage that we're going to go to, dealing with the karmic relationships that we've either ended or begun in Libra season, we're going to be dealing with the metamorphic change that comes with that. And that new moon energy is what's really going to kick it off, okay, coupled with the fact that Mars and Mercury will already be there. Yeah, because Mercury's going in there the same day that the new moon occurs, all right? So, yeah, so this is all about looking at, trying to make sense, logical sense out of your emotions. Because keep in mind, again, Mercury doesn't deal with emotion. Mercury deals with strictly information. Scorpio is going to deal with the emotional piece of it. So it's like, trying to look at your emotions logically and make decisions based on logic, not emotion. Because Scorpio can get very toxic when you make when you make decisions based on emotion. That's when the toxicity of Scorpio comes in. And so it's very important that, when we're in Scorpio season, like right now, just try to look at, the logical things, the logical way of looking at things. Your emotions will be peaked. Your intuition may be peaked. Your empathic abilities may be peaked as well. But use all of that energy as a tool to run up against your logical mind and say, okay, I don't care, well, yeah, this is what I felt intuitively, but let's try to see if I can make sense of it. If I can't make sense of it, what's the logical way of handling this? Gathering more information, right? So to that extent, that's just a basic general example. It may not always be that way, but just this is what you want to keep in mind. You want to try to be as rational as possible because you got Mars in Scorpio as well, and Mars is a fire planet. So you got fire and water. That's going to make steam. So what happens when you get steamed? People get steamed. People get angry. People get frustrated because of the changes that they're going through in this scorpionic energy that we're in. So just be careful as well, of other people. They could be going through things. Doesn't necessarily mean they will, but we will definitely see it, whether it's in your life or in someone else's life, or whether it's you watching it on TV or the news or something like that. So, and just be careful, when you go out into the world, to count to 10, just understand the planetary alignment. We're dealing with a lot of toxic energy. People are not going to be able to deal with their emotions appropriately because we are in an emotional energy, an emotional sign. We're in a sign of metamorphosis. We're in a sign where people are going to be having power struggles with themselves and with others. So with Mars there, that's going to accelerate it. All right. It's like adding fuel to the fire. So, we just need to be understanding of that energy that we're going to be dealing with. So that, this is why I do these, so that you can prepare your mind mentally. Like, okay, I know I'm going to be more emotional, especially in the area where Scorpio is in my chart and in the area where Capricorn. Let me see where Capricorn is. Oh, that's my work life. That's in my 10th house if I'm an Aries. All right. So I know in the work environment here, there's going to be issues going on here. I've been sensing these things come up, but I know things could come to a heated point during Scorpio season, right? So again, look at where Scorpio is in your chart and look at where Pluto is in your chart, okay? Where Capricorn is and where Scorpio is. They sextile each other. So, with the sextile energy, it could be either a opportunity for productivity and success. And it's all about your mental attitude. Again, looking at things from a logical perspective, more so than, dealing with it emotionally. Use the emotional piece of Scorpio to listen to your intuition, to listen to the energies you're picking up, but you can't put a finger on it. Use those energies, gather them, and then, make logical decisions based on your intuition, because your intuition is going to be very sharp in the house where Scorpio is, right? Now, yeah, so the other dates I wanted to talk about, we had the new moon in Scorpio. New moons are all about manifestations. So whatever changes you're going through, wherever Scorpio is in your chart, you want to look at, what area of house that is, what area of your life that is, as well as the area where Capricorn is, what area of your life that is, and try to make try to put some manifestations out there, some intentions out there, so that, maybe by the time the full moon in Taurus comes, which is November 19th, you will be well on the way of seeing the results that you want as far as manifestations in those areas of life, okay? It's going to be magnetized because you're going to be focusing on where Capricorn is. So you're going to be focused on areas of life of Capricorn, your job, your career, how people see you, how you see yourself, your reputation, and also the area of Scorpio, which is your hidden emotions, your hidden feelings, power struggles within yourself, and power struggles with other people. And other people's money, other people's assets, and that's what Scorpio also deals with. So for some of you, you could be dealing with people who passed away, maybe early in the year. You still could be dealing with the taxes involved with that, inheritances. You could also be dealing with insurance policies, pension payouts for people who passed away. So you could be dealing with rivalries with family, hidden emotions and hidden feelings behind that type of stuff. That's just an example of what's going on as far as, like I said, the types of contracts that we were dealing with in Libra season, where, legally you may have had to hire a lawyer to handle somebody's estate. You have family members that you could be battling with. I saw that in one of the reads I did last week. All right, so we're talking about the new moon in Scorpio on the 5th, the full moon on November 19th. Also, on November 18th or 19th, depending on where you are in the world, we're going to have a partial lunar eclipse. All right, so that's dealing with that Taurus moon. So I'll talk to you more about that once we get closer to that. Because keep in mind that we're in the north node of Gemini and Sagittarius. This lunar eclipse that kicks off in the Taurus new moon, the Taurus full moon, is going to be like energy that helps us to transcend out of the Gemini North Node, Sagittarius South Node, so that we can go into the Taurus North Node, Scorpio South Node on January 18th. So eclipses are basically, closing out energy, closing up the last minute energies or the emotions and feelings and intuitive energies of this Gemini Sagittarius cycle that we just came out of. So we're going into an energy of Taurus North Node, Scorpio South Node. So with Taurus North Node in general deals with, the South Node, in the North Node is where we're aiming, where we're going to, where we're destined, right? Where we're trying to aim for. And then the South Node is the energies that we've gathered, in the past. And now we're trying to use those energies that we have to help us move forward. And we're trying to get away from those types of energies as well. So Scorpio energy, an example of the Scorpio South Node that we've experienced was everything that had to do with COVID. The psychological transformations we had to go through. Hold on a sec. So yeah, the psychological transformations that we had to go through, whether we wanted to or not, those are the power struggles that come with Scorpionic energy. The transformations that we had to go through with COVID. Nobody wanted to go through that, but we had to. We had to psychologically adjust. We had to psychologically change our mind, our mindsets. And that is, if you want to understand Scorpionic energy, that's what Scorpionic energy is. The Pluto is the power struggle. The fact that you don't have a choice in the matter. This is what's going on. So it's like you have to change your mindset about it. You can try to defy it and fight it as much as you can, but there are some things that you're not going to be able to fight. You're going to have to convert. You're going to have to change. That's that metamorphic stage of that Pluto energy in Scorpio, that power struggle. The fight that you give to it is that Mars energy, the Mars that rules Scorpio. So it's like, okay, I'm going to fight this, or I'm going to fight to change, or I'm going to fight not to change. So this is what we're dealing with. So when we have Scorpio South Node in January, we're dealing with recovering from the toxicities of the traumas that we dealt with over this last 18 months, which was basically COVID. And then the North Node we're ascending to, and what we're trying to strive to moving forward, is financial stability, financial security, peace, being able to enjoy, being able to enjoy life in particular, the physical ramifications or the physical pleasures of life as well. And Taurus deals with money. So us coming from a state of not being financially stable, a lot of us to going to a state where we are financially stable and structured, right? So that's where we're going to be going with these North Node, Taurus, South Node, Scorpio energies, effective January 18th. And we're going to also see that Uranus, which is in Taurus, is going to go direct on that same day, January 18th. So we'll talk about that more as well. But I just wanted to give you a little roundup of what's going on. I want to thank you guys for checking out the channel. Again, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. So hopefully this will give you an idea of what we're going to be experiencing, or what you could see going on in the next 30 days. Or during the Scorpionic cycle, or what may kick off during the Scorpionic season. All right, so check out your readings, check out your placements, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you need a personal read, my information's in the box below. I'll see you guys all throughout Scorpio season. Later. Oh, I forgot to mention. November 22nd is when we go from Scorpio to Sag season. So just one quick thing about that with the Sag season, after we go through the psychological changes of Scorpio season and adjusting to the contracts, whether they are 3D contracts or karmic contracts that we're coming out of, or that we've been put into against our will, or, without us knowing, or whether we knew intentionally. After dealing with the psychological ramifications and adjustments that we need to make emotionally with that, then we go into Sagittarius season, which is us learning from our experiences. What will happen is we will take the information and the changes that we went through in Scorpio season, and we look at in Sagittarius season, we're going to look at, how that has shaped our views, as far as our philosophical views, our religious views, our spiritual views, our philosophy on life. So we're using that we went through in Scorpio season to learn from, and to you, because, Sagittarius is the house of wisdom, right? And it's the house of optimism. So, and it could also, depending on how you look at things, it could be the opposite. You could be pessimistic or optimistic. And that's going to be manifested in your views and your philosophy on things based on the metamorphical changes that you went through or didn't go through during Scorpionic season. So that's very important for you to keep in mind as well. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So again, if you need a personal, reach out to me. I forgot to include the 22nd of November as Sagittarius season in the report. But yeah, okay, that's what I forgot to add. So I added it. So okay, later guys.